Separately indeed. A GOP-controlled Congress now tasked with making Mr. Trump's campaign pledges a reality. But as lawmakers get back to work in Washington, are they under pressure to water down any of those proposals?
Here to weigh in on this is one of the congressmen overseeing it all, House Majority Leader Mr. Kevin McCarthy. Thank you so much, Congressman, for joining us.
Thanks for having me this morning.
You're welcome. So there were all these promises. Donald Trump ran on these promises. The voters decided that's exactly what they wanted. Now, what is Congress going to do? Because we're hearing some of these ideas. For instance, build the wall. Now we're hearing could be a fence. Some people are saying some of these things are already getting watered down. Is there truth in that?
No, not at all. We actually just went back into session yesterday, and I put together the team, actually with the Speaker and others, our staff, working on legislation now. So when we're sworn in, not waiting till when the president is sworn in, but at the very first week of January, how we are able to move the legislation needed to start building the wall.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
Majority Leader, I do want to bring you to something else. I know you were talking about immigration with us a few days ago, and now, of course, we have the mayors of these sanctuary cities standing up. I think there's 7 or 8 of them saying, you're not going to throw out our illegals, even though the focus should be on the criminal illegals. Listen to Rahm Emanuel right now. Yeah, he came out earlier and he said, forget it. If you want to come here, Mr. President-elect, and throw these guys out and these women out. What's your reaction to this? We're not going to get cooperation from city mayors.
Well, you know what? The murderers and others that are here illegally, they need to leave this country. And I think Rahm Emanuel needs to focus on the security of Chicago, the number of murders that are taking place there. This is not new legislation that we have to move. This is just enacting current law into the process.
Mr. Majority Leader, within that, this is a controversial issue. Immigration reform, building a wall, what you do with illegals. These are tough issues. Your caucus has famously had different factions. You've got the Freedom Caucus. You've got more establishment wing, conservative wings. Is there a universe? Do you feel like almost consensus and collaboration across the caucus, or do you have any concerns that some are going to say we're not going far enough?
Well, I think you'll get a difference of opinion throughout Congress. But the one thing everybody has always agreed upon, you have to secure the border. Even when you looked at the legislation that I disagreed with that passed in the Senate, they put billions of dollars in there to have a secure border, to have a wall along the border. So I find it quite ironic that Democrats would complain against that. The first thing we have to do is to secure our border. Now, as we get into other parts of immigration reform, I'm sure there'll be difference of opinion, but who in America today believes our current immigration system is actually working? 40% of everyone that's here illegally came here legally on a visa and overstayed it. We have a system that is broken, and we need to fix it.
What about what's going on in the minds of other congressmen and congresswomen now that Donald Trump has won? Because he kept saying, no more establishment, I'm going to drain the swamp. So are you all working on pins and needles, or what's the reaction from all of you?
Now, remember, the majority of the Republicans that are sitting in Congress came in 2010 in the revolution to change this country, to drain the swamp then. We are excited. When you walk around the halls of Congress, I see people so excited to finally be able to achieve what they have dreamt and why they ran for office in the first place. We're going to change this country. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. We tried to repeal it for more than 50 times. Now we're going to be able to achieve it. We're going to get this economy moving again, where we're going to reform, bring back and rein in those regulations that we've been fighting every step of the way with President Obama. This is a new day, a new opportunity for America. And one personal place I really want to look at is to reform the VA. The way we treat our vets is just wrong. And this is an opportunity. It's something that President-elect Donald Trump ran on.
You know,
and
Mr.
we've talked about this many times.
So glad you mentioned that. I have happened to be in D.C. last night, happened to accidentally run into Chairman Jeff Miller, who's chaired the House VA committee. He had a grin ear to ear because he's been trying to fight the VA bureaucracy for years, and Barack Obama and Harry Reid have blocked it. There really is a moment now where you can move something. Do you anticipate VA movement quickly?
And Congressman P.S., he served 2 tours for our country. Pete did.
Yes. No, the way the VA system, I mean, when we first came in, we started the audit to find it's worse than what people have even said. We have gone and worked past legislation, but we have been stopped every step of the way. How we treat our veterans says about the character and morals as this nation, and it does not reflect the way we want to represent our veterans. We want to make sure they have the tools when they get back, but we want to give them the care that they deserve.
And the president yesterday said the VA has been overhauled despite what happened in Phoenix, so you guys are on totally different pages on that. You're going to have a great opportunity, Majority Leader. The clock starts soon. Thanks so much for joining us, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.